on this aspect of stack. It's a data structure, so we will be seeing what is stack, and then we will see what is the abstract data type of the stack, what operations we can perform, and how stack can be implemented using array, that we will see. Okay, so that is our today's agenda. uh, then yeah, uh, 20 students have only joined so far. I will wait for another 1 2 minutes. Meanwhile, if any doubt is there, you can feel free to ask me doubt, any kind of doubt if is there in front of you, in your mind, you can ask me, right? हिंदी में एक कहावत है, आपको पता होगा, जैसे सांप सूंघ गया हो, राइट? सुना है किसी ने कहावत? ये कहावत सुनी किसी
No,
ने?
sir.
नाही. मतलब मराठीत म्हणतो ना, एकदम भयान शांतता म्हणतो आपण मराठीमध्ये. जैसे मान लो कुछ अघटित हो गया हो, जैसे मैंने पूछ लिया भाई किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम है क्या, तो एकदम पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस, नो वन इज हैविंग एनी प्रॉब्लम. So I will talk with respect to time complexity, asymptotic notation, best case and worst case. Best case is what all the students are very sincere enough and they have read whatever I have taught and they understood. That is the best case. And worst case is that none of the student had read, and that's why there is no difficulty at all. Okay. Anyway, it is up to you. Now you are grown up students, so I can only instruct you that always whatever being taught, we should read it on the same day so that we will be able to understand it, and if any difficulty we can ask the questions to the faculty member, right? So what we will do today, we will start with the stack, right? Now what do we mean by stack? Stack is a container in which you can, I will just show you on my slide. Able to see my screen now? So when I talk about stack, right, means it is just like a container, okay, in which you are pouring the, suppose say dishes, okay, you are pouring. So this is one dish you have put in this container. The next dish will be here itself. The third will be here itself, and likewise you will go on pouring the dishes into the container. And when it comes here, you will say that the container is full, right? Container is full. Okay. Now, if you want to remove any of the dish from this container, which dish you will be able to remove? The last, the list, the dish which is at the bottom or in between, or the dish which is at the top of the stack, which will be accessible to
Top.
you? The top,
Top
right?
one.
Because you are having access from this end only, and this is the closed container, so you cannot put hand in between. So you are having access only to the top of the container, not to the middle or the lower end of the container. And that's why the stack, which is defined in this way, is said that it follows the principle of first in, last out, or you can say last in, first out, right? This is the principle on which stack works. First in, last out, or last in, first out, both are same. Okay. Now, when we think of stack as an abstract data type, what do you mean by abstract data type? Abstract data type means what? We are telling the user that what kind of data you can store in the stack and what kind of operations you can perform onto the stack, right? what kind of data you can store onto the stack and what kind of operations you can perform on the stack. Now, as far as C language is concerned, right? Since it is not an object-oriented language, right? It is not an object-oriented language. It is procedure-oriented language. We generally consider stack of. We generally consider. Yes. We generally consider stack of number only, right? Numbers only. Okay. Because normally when C perform operation on the stack, it is storing the address or the parameters also. So normally it works on numbers, but sometimes it may works on characters also. So we can say that the stack can store integer data, means numerical data, as well as non-numerical data. That is alphanumerical, right? It can store numerical as well as alphanumerical data, right? So it may be any type. Numeric means it can be integer, real, float, double, and character. Alphanumerical means characters. Okay. So that are the data types. Also, if it is an object-oriented language, then we can store objects also. We can store objects also on the stack, right? We can store objects also. Now, if you have gone through C language, then you might have studied structure. So structure consists of different type of elements having different type of data. So in C++ or in Python, this structure is further extended to the class and with additional feature of operations on that. With additional features of operations on that. Okay. So when we talk about the abstract data type of stack, we can say the data type can be numeric as well as alphanumeric, Okay. Now coming to the operation part of the stack. As you know, suppose this is the stack, right? So what will be the initial stage of stack? Initially, the stack will be, what will be the stack? Initially, the stack will be empty, right? Initially, the stack will be empty. And at some stage, what will happen to the stack? क्या होगा stack को? Stack will be
filled,
right? Stack will be full. So these are extreme conditions. Okay. So whenever you are talking of any abstract data type, you must think of boundary conditions, means extreme conditions. So what will be one of the extreme conditions? The stack will be empty and the other is stack will be full, right? These are two boundary conditions. Okay. Now, so you should come to know, for example, you are going on putting the elements into the stack. You should come to know whether stack is empty or stack is full or not. So what kind of operations we need to perform on the stack? Whether stack is empty or whether stack is full, right? These two questions we should ask to ourselves. When we should ask the question whether stack is full? When we should ask the question whether stack is full? Before putting the data into the stack, right? Before putting the data into the stack, we should ask the question whether stack is full. If stack is full, then we should not put the element into the stack. But if it says that stack is not yet full, then we can enter the element into the stack. Similarly, when we should ask question that a stack is empty or not?
before deleting an element.
Yeah, when we are removing the elements from the stack. So before removing the element from the stack, you should ask the question whether the stack is empty or not. If the stack is not empty, then only you can remove the element. Otherwise, you cannot remove the element. Okay, so the two operations which are required other than push means what? To store the element on the stack, and pop means what? To remove the element from the stack. That is the meaning of push and pop actually. So in terminology, we use push and pop because why it is push? Because we are putting from one end only and removing from the same end also. That's why it is called as push and it is called as pop. We are popping it out. Okay. But the literal meaning is push means to add the elements. You can say to add the element, and to pop means to remove the element. That is what we mean by push and pop. Okay. Now, so what operations we will require? Definitely we will require push operation and we will require pop operation along with is empty and is full. So how many operations we have seen so far? Is empty, is full, push and pop. Okay. So how to check, how to implement these functions?